If you want to get into the academic medicine world, there are several things you should know before you jump into it. Number one, compensation. Compensation in academia is lower than those who go into private practice. Why is that? In private practice, your compensation may go beyond just a salary. It could be shared business revenue from being a partner, joint ventures, medical directorship, assets, investments. Now, in academic medicine, there are also other forms of compensation outside of the regular salary. For some, you can get bonuses when you see more patients. Then there is also indirect income, for example, opportunities to join master's program or for faculty development. These sometimes can cost between tens to close to $100,000 of school fees. Compensation can also come in non-monetary forms. For example, access to people with power, larger networks across different departments, access to services, a library, institutional review board, statistical help. Then there are also bigger opportunities for corporate leadership position, opportunities for university positions. Now, the key is you need to learn to tap into those resources. The biggest mistake is people don't know what is available for them. So when I mentor or coach somebody, the first thing I ask is, what do you have access to? And look beyond your own division. Number two, know your job breakdown. When you are looking for a job or interviewing for an academic position, make sure you know the breakdown between the clinical work, research time, and administrative time. When somebody says, oh, you get 75% of clinical time, make sure you get details about what that means. How many weeks of inpatient rounds, how many clinics in a week, etc. Next thing you want to know is your metrics, specifically how your institution judges your performance. For example, in big research universities, grant funding and number of publications, they are typically the most important metric. Then there's the complete other side of academic positions that are purely clinical, 100% clinical, with heavy emphasis on bringing revenue to the department. You may get involved in some teaching, but no formal research work, no protected time. There is no right or wrong, but you want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. Number three, your learning has only just begun. Just because you have finished medical school, residency training, or done a PhD or master's, you may think you're set for life. But in reality, you have barely scratched the surface. Depending on your goals, there are different skill sets you need. Think about the gaps you need for the current role and the gaps you need for the next few levels. Then you need to create a learning plan for yourself. For example, when I first started, I focused a lot on learning research skills, writing skills, then evolve into project management, then the next will be building a team. With each foundational skills, you will still need to continue mastering your craft, and you can't stop improving. One example is academic writing. Just because I can now write research papers and have published some, it does not mean that I should stop learning. I still join writing courses and continue to have coaches. That's because when you treat it as a craft, you can start to write better and faster. In terms of learning, there are many free resources online. But if you do not have time to scour through the internet or organize the material yourself, then leverage money. Don't be afraid to pay to speed things up for you. You have to pay to get the skills anyway. You either paid with time or you paid with money. If your institution can pay for it, great. But if they don't, get it yourself. Invest in yourself. It is worth it because you are the biggest investment in your life. I know conducting a research project is an overwhelming process, so I made the idea to paper blueprint for you. This blueprint takes you through a 7-step process from idea generation to paper submission. So be sure to get a copy by clicking the link at the description below. Number 4, community. When you get into academia, don't do this alone. Build a community around you. Again, don't wait for things to come to you. You will need to be intentional about it. One thing I would say is, it is okay to find a new community in new seasons of your life. Sometimes we outgrow old friends, sometimes we change direction. That is fine. Number 5, the need to have a strong belief in yourself and your purpose. Personally, I think this is the most important trait you need, because you need to be truly convinced of your personal, professional, and your research goals. Before you can convince anybody about your research, you must believe in yourself first. Think about how your project, how your professional goal, how does it help me, my family, patients, science in general? Trace it all the way, not just the direct impact. If you are not sold on your own vision or your goals, people can sway you too easily. One example, when I was writing my first grant, I had a strong belief about my research purpose and how this project is going to help people. I did not know how long it would take, but in my mind, it was not whether or not this project can help people. It was more of how and when this will help people. So when I was getting negative feedback or people did not like the grant idea, I knew that they did not like it because it was a bad idea, but how I was conveying the message. So I would work on the storytelling rather than abandoning the idea. Number 6, in academia, you still need to stand out. People don't get compensated just because they work hard. They get compensated for the value you bring. If what you're bringing to the table is the same as everyone else, you will become a commodity. That means you are now replaceable. Before COVID happened, doctors felt like they had job security, then layoffs happened. Remember, no job is ever completely secure. And also, there are new doctors graduating every year. Their skills could surpass you, and they may have more energy than you. What unique skills do you have that are different from everyone else? Watch this video next because it's going to tell you how to stand out in your academic career.